The Zhou dynasty lasted from 1046 to 256 BCE. It coexisted with the Shang dynasty for many years. Zhou attacked the last king of the Shang dynasty, and became the first Zhou king. It's thought that the Zhou dynasty was originally centralized over a small territory around the Yellow River. After defeating the Shang, the Zhou established rule over China. They believed they had been given the mandate of heaven, a right to control China. It said that if a king was good, heaven would give him the right to rule. They created stability through feudalism. The king would rule all the land, but gave large pieces of land to loyal supporters, also known as lords. Feudalism didn't work forever though. Between 770 to 450 BC, a few states often bickered with one another, and eventually developed into clusters of states that warred for power. The wars brought 250 years of chaos and disorder to China. This led the government to question the most efficient way to rule. The most influential were Confucianism, Taoism, and Legalism. Confucianism was a way of life brought by Confucius in the 6th to 5th centuries BCE and was followed by the Chinese for many years. Confucius was an incredibly famous Chinese philosopher in his time. He was born into a low-ranking family of nobles. Because he was a noble, he got good education. At the time, the only teachers were other nobles, so he was taught how stable and thriving China was. He became sad when the Zhou Empire weakened and battled itself over power. He thought society worked well when people acted correspondingly to their roles. He also believed in 5 main relationships: husband and wife, father and son, older sibling and younger sibling, and friend and friend. Everyone must respect those above them, especially elders. Those with authority must lead by example and be kind and wise. Confucius attracted many students who wanted to learn his ways. After he died, he collected his sayings in a book called the Analects. Scholars in the future would further develop Confucianism. Taoism was a way of life brought by Laozi in the late 500s BCE. Some think he's just a legend, while others think he was real. Old stories of his life say how he came to write the Tao Te Ching. They say that Laozi worked as an advisor to the Zhou court. When he was 90, he got tired of work and left on a water buffalo. He came across a border guard who was upset the great teacher's wisdom would be lost. Laozi wrote a small script with his ideas, the Tao Te Ching. Taoism was based on the Chinese idea. Tao, it helped keep balance in the universe. Taoism said people gained happiness by living in harmony. To Taoists, nature was full of opposites, like good and evil, light and darkness, and life and death. True balance came from yin and yang when the opposites balanced. Yin means shadowed and yang means sunlit. Legalism was much harsher than Taoism and Confucianism and gave very different answers to problems. It was based on the teachings of Han Feizi, who lived from 280 to 333 BCE. He put his ideas in a book named after him. Legalism was based on the idea that people are naturally selfish. If people are left to themselves, they would follow their own interests, so leading by example wasn't enough. Instead, they would have to establish very strict laws that punished those who did not follow. Civil servants would be heavily supervised and harshly punished for doing a bad job. The Qin dynasty quite liked this idea, and after overthrowing the Zhou in 256 BC, adopted it as their own.